Yes. How are we doing? I hope you're really good. Welcome to the 400th show of the Rise to Thrive show. We've been running this for like however many years, and we've managed to somehow get to show 400, which is like a really nice milestone to get to. I'm not expecting many people to be up. Obviously on Bank Holiday Monday, everyone's taking advantage of maybe that lie-in, that rest. But we're going to get through this, and I'm going to go through everything that I've kind of learned, everything I've kind of gained. I've only chosen 6 points just because I think it's you could go on and on and on about what you've learned over the time having run 400 shows, right? We could literally spend an hour here, but I'm going to go through 6 points, key points that I think I've learned having worked with men. So let's get into it. 400th show. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show for the 400th show. Let's see if this works. If I wake the kids up, my missus will go mental. If you are watching, please do comment down below, and please do hit the love heart button. Let me comment how your weekend or your Easter has been. It'd be good to hear what we've done. So before we even started the Rise to Thrive show, we used to do something called the Morning JB show. So the Morning JB show actually run 250 shows, and then we start from zero going to Rise to Thrive show. So I think since I've been doing this, and we must be going back almost to 2016, been doing this for, we've probably run nearly 600 shows, and I wish I carried on the number from the first one because I can't quite remember. Anyway, it's been a really great journey, and we've met a lot of good men along the way, and women, and later on this year we will be looking to open our doors to women as well, to help them with their own elite movement, their own journey. And I think when we started this, we used to be called the dad coach. We then transferred to the man coach, and again, I don't know if you've even noticed, we transferred to it just being James Boardman brand. And it's been really interesting to watch everything evolve over the time, right? And see everybody coming through and see people changing their lives. It's been really, really great. So I've come up with these six things here. These six things that I think I've learned the most. One of the things that is the most frustrating thing about the job is that you simply can't save everyone. And I think that I've really learnt that over the years, whereas I went out with the purpose to try and save everyone. And what I was finding is that I was burning a lot of my time and my energy trying to help everyone, and not a lot of people wanting to meet me halfway with that. So here's my top 6 things that I've kind of taken away from doing the shows and doing this job. Okay, so the first one is, no matter what you say or what you do, you can't please or help everybody. So although in my mind a lot of the stuff that I put out there is quite direct, quite blunt in some way, quite true, not everybody is going to see that. Not everybody is going to understand what I'm trying to say. Not everybody's in a right place to receive what I'm saying. Not everybody will agree with what I'm saying. Not everybody that comes into our world to do our programs or work with us or listen to us is going to necessarily see the benefit of that. And the one thing that I've really come to learn is that some people just actually, as much as they want to change, don't actually want to do the work. And it's really difficult and frustrating as somebody who is passionate about their job, to see guys with massive amounts of potential never really jumping on that horse, that train to get them to the place where they want to be, right? To get them to the outcomes that they want to have, to improve their marriages and to improve their physique, to improve their mental state. And it's one of the things that I think over the years that I've come to accept is, it doesn't matter what I say or what I do, it's not going to change everybody, okay? So number 2, 99.9% of things you think are an issue in your life are the byproduct of your overthinking. So this is a really good one for me, and I thought about this a lot on my holiday last week. And one of the things I was thinking is that I don't actually have really many issues or many problems. I think I do because I manifest them with my overthinking, right? So the overthinking mentality is that on one, it's like, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. It's all about what ifs, worst case scenarios, etc., etc. And what I've come to learn is with men and women, like if you really think about it, if we don't really necessarily have that many real issues when we compare it to people that are like in poverty or in Africa or people who are in Ukraine, right? Until missiles start flying in, we have to put things into perspective. So 99.9% of things that are going on around you is that byproduct, is that byproduct, right, of the overthinking in here. And one of the things that we try to do is really learn to allow men to have a mindset where they can be more perspective about actually stop worrying about all of these things that haven't even happened yet, and actually enjoy the life, enjoy the roller coaster, enjoy the process, because one day we won't be able to, right? Number 3, expectations, okay, are the killer of progress. And what I mean by that is that when a man decides to change, I can feel the want to change coming off that guy. So if I'm in a conversation with a guy, I can feel that adrenaline, I can feel that burst. And a lot of people, men and women actually do this, they sprint at the very start of the journey, right? They want to change and I can feel it, and they're hungry and they're ambitious. But their expectations are all the way up here. This is what I expect to be. This is where I should be. And the reality is that when we're trying to change, when we're trying to unwind, when we're trying to de-root old habits and routines that have plagued us forever, it takes time. It takes almost a year to change. And why I say it almost takes a year is because you have to undo deep-rooted, like, ways of thinking, states of mind, ways that you've done stuff, practices that you've practiced, and you have to have the ups and the downs and still come back from the downs and thrive on the ups. Okay, so it takes a long time to change. So managing those expectations at the very start of a journey is key. Otherwise guys lose interest because they're not seeing progress quick enough. And although we feel immediate stuff in our 5-day challenges and our 7-day trials, we see that progress very, very quickly and in very short, right? But then it kind of dips because they want more and more and more. So expectations are the killer of progress. Number 4, men's progression. Okay, so men's progression will be blocked by a man's own ego of not confronting himself in the mirror. So a man's ego is really, really dented when it looks at all of the negatives. Okay, so like when we have to confront the man in the mirror, and this is an ideology that I'm going to put forward to women as well, is that when you confront the man or the woman in the mirror, you have to strip the ego, because you have to accept where you are. And for many guys, they get very triggered when I press buttons in terms of saying, you're not this is what you're not doing, this is why your wife doesn't want to be with you, this is why you're not having sex, this is why you have got a belly, and we must be able to confront that. We must be able to confront it ego free. And the frustrating thing for a lot of lads is that they allow their ego to be the shackle on their ankle to stop them progressing. And I've learned that over these years. And you have to go into change ego-free. Okay, ego-free. Like, I accept and quite often share with you guys my failures. And I sometimes think I'm a fraud for sharing those failures, but actually I'm just a human being. No one man, coach or guru that you watch on social media is living that life, that perfect life. They're not, I'm telling you now. And they might portray that they are, but everybody goes through something. Everyone is always failing. Everyone is always learning and gaining experience and driving forwards, okay? 85% of men will never change. They'll want to, but they die going through that process, okay? So there are 2 different types of men, and this is based on data doing our course. 85% of people that show up for our free course, that read our book, that take all of this free stuff that we do, 85% of people do not show up to complete it or follow through. And many men will go through life wanting to change, like needing to change, going through this mindset or daydreaming of change, but will never actually change and will die in that struggled, painful state, which is really, really like frustrating for someone like me who wants to make that difference. And only 15% of people ever show up. And I always feel that that 15% of people have just shown that 1% more courage or energy, or have connected to it, a real emotional connection of why they must show up. Okay, something's happened in their life and they really have to make a difference, or they've just had enough is enough of living that life and they really need to make a difference. And 85% will just procrastinate, will just be like that tumbleweed floating through life, and then suddenly you become 60. And I have a lot of conversations with men that have helped me understand and come up to with this statistic and this mindset. You know, I work with a couple of older guys who are in their 60s, and they said that through their 40s they always thought they had an abundance of time. They always thought they were going to get round to making those changes that they were required. And a lot of the time, a lot of them said they could have avoided divorce, they could have had better connections with their kids, they could have looked after or nurtured their health better. So these are all things that we've learned through this process just by doing this show. And then the last one, you're the byproduct of the effort that you show yourself. You are the byproduct of the effort that you show yourself. So the way that language that I use now and have evolved, there are two different mindsets. There is the average mindset, there is the elite mindset. So the average mindset gives you an average body, it gives you an average lifestyle, it brings you average happiness, an average marriage, and an average connection with your children. Even though you love them, but you're just showing up as average. And then on the other side, there is elite. And elite is just a word that I kind of associate with a high standard. Okay, and this is why we use the elite. So if you live an elite life, you then have like a better body that you're happier with. You have a stronger connection with your relationships, your wife, your partner, your husband, your children. You have a much better understanding about work-life balance. You're more you're structured, routined and systemized in your business or your career. So you're living the life that you want to live more than that average mentality. Average mentality brings pain, hardship, frustration, Groundhog Day mentality, whereas the elite mentality allows you to be able to thrive, push, discover, be hungry for life. And there is never this perfect life, but there is a life that we chase. There is a challenge, there is fire, there is passion, there is hunger. And this is stuff that I'm learning personally through myself. It's just kind of like, enjoy the process. Stop focusing always on like an outcome. Just sometimes get up and enjoy the fact that right now I'm healthy enough to enjoy the process and just absorb it all, because it is a journey. And if we just go through that journey in an average mentality, we're going to be unhappy. We're going to be wasting a lot of time and energy being frustrated, whereas we could spend a lot of time and energy becoming and having an elite high standard. Makes sense? More of a growth mentality than a low mentality. Anyway, like I said, I could go on all day, but I'm not going to. Thank you so much to everyone that showed up. I really appreciate it. We are back onto the shows. So every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 5:30 in the morning. So I'm looking forward to like seeing you all there, doing your best to get there, try and make the show. We always use the show as a 5:30 mark, as a marker for you. And I do that time for you. I'm up at 4:15 anyway, so it's no bother to me. And it's really just to get guys and women in hungry to go. And that's what we hear. The whole point of this show was always to get you a little bit hungry for the day. Like, yes, let's get out there. Let's go and make it happen. And coming back to the show was always a default reset. Like, just needed that today. Let's get after it. Do you know what I mean? Cool. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys. And I'll catch all of you Wednesday, 5:30.